I gotta start recording.
Change the setting. Yes, it's supposed to just do it.
Depth perception.
One thing I know is
Yeah, right next to me. He's in trouble. He did well in next to how well he did when he got in touch.
Oh, yes, okay. So once again, will my colleagues please join us? This is the first meeting of the 11th term of the Nassau County Legislature. And I will now call it to order on the 4th day of January 2016. At this point, I will ask Legislator Dunn to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
All rise, facing the flag, place your right hand over your heart and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Dunn. I will now call the roll. First legislative district, Kavan Abrahams.
Here.
Second legislative district, Sarah Barno, and unfortunately, Sarah, I believe, was called away due to a death in the family. And so, our condolences to Sarah and her family. The third legislative district, Carrier Salagis.
Here.
The fourth legislative district, Denise Ford. Here. The fifth legislative district, Laura Curran. Here. The sixth legislative district, and welcome to William Taylor III. Seventh legislative district, Howard Capel. The eighth legislative district, Vincent Muscovella. The ninth legislative district, Richard Nicolello.
Here.
10th legislative district, Alan Birnbaum.
Here.
The 11th legislative district, dealer, Mr. Reggie Whitten.
Here.
And the 12th legislative district, James Kennedy.
Here.
The 13th legislative district, Norman Gonsalves, and I am here. And the 4th legislative district, Laura Schaefer. The 15th legislative district, Dennis Dunn.
Here.
The 16th legislative district, Jim Jacobs. Here. The 17th legislative district, Rose Walker.
Here.
The 18th legislative district, Donald McKenzie.
Here.
And the 19th legislative district, Stephen Rhodes.
Present.
All 18 members of the Nassau County are now present in the legislative chamber. The first order of business is procedural resolution 1, 2016, a resolution as to procedure to appoint a clerk pro temp of the Nassau County Legislature pursuant to the Nassau County Charter, Section 110, subsection 1. I hereby nominate William Muller as clerk pro temp of the Nassau County Legislature. Seconded by Dennis Dunn. All right, are there any other nominations? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the vote. Moved by Legislator Rhodes, moving the nomination to be closed. All those in favor of closing, a second. All those in favor of closing the nomination signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And I guess at this point, all those in favor of William Muller as clerk pro temp signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I was going to call a roll call, but I think that would be unnecessary at this point because there are no nays. So, excuse me. All right. So, Legislator Muller. I did say all those in favor, and I said any opposed. Okay. William Muller is the clerk pro temp by a vote of 18 to 0. Okay, congratulations, Mr. Muller.
Thank you very much.
And now, it's your responsibility to conduct things.
The next order of business is Procedure Resolution 2 of 2016, which is the election of the presiding officer pursuant to Section 106 of the Nassau County Charter. The legislator who receives the highest number of votes shall be presiding officer, and the legislator who receives the second highest shall be minority leader. Can I have nominations, please?
Do anyone else?
Legislator Coppell. Legislator Coppell nominates Legislator Gonzalez, seconded by Legislator Dunn. Are there any other nominations?
I would like to place the name of Devon Abrahams in nomination also.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
So that we have, just to make the record clear, Legislator Gonzalez is nominated by Howard Coppell, seconded by Legislator Dunn. Legislator Abrahams is nominated by Legislator Jacobs, seconded by Legislator DeRidge-Witt.
Nominations been closed.
Second that.
Okay, well,
I move to close nominations.
seconded? Okay. But I don't know if we need to vote for that. I think we do. So yeah. Oh, is everybody in favor of that, closing nominations?
Yes.
That's a record reflecting 18 to 0. I don't know if you want to rethink the clerk thing. So,
I don't think so.
the nominations of Norman Gonzalez and Kavan Abrahams are now before this legislature for a vote. I will call the roll. Legislator Abrahams.
Abrahams.
Legislator Minot's not here. Legislator Solage.
Abrahams.
Legislator Ford.
Gonzalez.
Legislator Curran.
Kavan Abrahams.
Legislator Gaylord.
Gonzalez.
Legislator Coppell. Legislator Muscarella. Legislator Nicolello.
Norman.
Legislator Birnbaum.
Abrahams.
Legislator DeRidge-Witt.
Abrahams.
Legislator Kennedy. Legislator Gonzalez.
Shake it up, right? Gonzalez.
Legislator Schaefer. Legislator Dunn.
Legislator Norma Gonzalez.
Legislator Jacobs.
Devon Abrahams.
Legislator Walker.
Norman Gonzalez.
Legislator McKenzie.
Norman Gonzalez.
Legislator Rhodes.
Gonzalez.
Ladies and gentlemen, and members of this legislature, by a vote of 12 to 6, with legislator by no not present, Norma Gonzalez is hereby elected to serve as presiding officer of the Nassau County Legislature. And ladies and gentlemen, and members of this legislature, local legislator Kavan Abrahams, having received the second highest number of votes, is elected to serve as minority leader of the Nassau County Legislature. I will now call on the presiding officer Gonzalez to preside and to appoint members to serve as deputy presiding officer and alternate deputy presiding officer.
At this time, I am proud to appoint Legislator Nicolello as Deputy Presiding Officer and Legislator Coppell as alternate Deputy Presiding Officer. Any comments? Any questions regarding those appointments? Okay. I did, yes, we do. Okay, that was a comment. Okay, there being no other comments, all those in favor of I don't need a vote, I'm sorry. I don't need a vote, sorry. Yes, you would, yes, you would. So, Legislator Nicolello, Legislator Coppell, thank you. Okay, the next item of business is procedural resolution 3, 2016. A resolution as to procedure to appoint William Muller as clerk of the legislature pursuant to the county government law of Nassau County. May I have a motion, please? Okay, moved by legislator Walker, seconded by legislator Ford. Okay, is there any debate or discussion regarding that nomination or that appointment? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, and the vote is, we're stuck, 18.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to serve all of you.
Congratulations, Bill. The next item of business is procedural resolution 4, 2016, a resolution as to procedure to establish and adopt the rules of procedure for the 11th Nassau County Legislature pursuant to county government law of Nassau County. May I have a motion to consider these rules as proposed? Moved by legislator Dunn, seconded by legislator Shaker. Okay. Any debate or discussion?
If I may, Madam President?
Yes, Minority Leader.
I thank you. I believe to your attention, and we submitted to the clerk of the legislature as well, we submitted changes to the rules of procedure of the legislature, all things that we believe that would make the legislature, I believe, more transparent, and while at the same time at a level of seriousness and community involvement. Just to summarize, there are 7 different things. The first one is that all contracts and legislative approval shall be approved by the Rules Committee, the Finance Committee, and the appropriate committee or committees of the jurisdiction overseeing the issue. That would pertain to obviously public work contracts, being having an opportunity to go through public works, as well as some contracts that are finance related, have the opportunity to go through finance. Also, the legislature shall hold 4 evening meetings. The legislature used to do this, and obviously, I mean, we're looking out in the audience now where most of the folks are not here today that could be here. Normally, the meetings were at night, so we were requesting that we have at least 4 meetings in the evening. The legislature also shall establish a publicly accessible web-based bill tracking system to increase transparency as well as public engagement in the legislative process. Also, we wanted to give, which we don't have any authority on this, and we believe it's actually part of the charter, but just to clarify, we wanted to give each of the chairs of the respective committees the authority to call hearings. There's no reason why the public safety chair or the government chair, government service chair be able to call hearings so that they can be able to schedule them and be able to have public comment and proceed in the process. We also want to have public comment from 30 minutes to 1 hour and have unrestricted public comment before committee and hearing dates. 6, we wanted to require all legislative initiatives to be up and down on a roll call vote in committee and the full legislature. This is to prevent needed reforms from being left in limbo. Many times we have submitted bills that have not seen the light of day on this floor, and we believe that the legislative body should take action. It should be debated, discussion. The public should have input, and we should make a formal decision on how we should proceed. And last but not least, we were requesting to change the legislative meetings from Tuesday rather than Monday to allow 1 full business day for preparation for last-minute issues.
Okay, Minority Leader Kavan, are you offering these?
I'm offering, yes.
These are amendments in the nature of substitution?
Madam Presiding Officer, I'm advised by council that we have offered this as part of a separate bill, but if the bill will not be called, we are offering these ideas as amendments to the rules of legislation, rules of procedure that are in front of us.
Okay, those 7 or 8 items are amendments that you are offering?
No. The amendments would be in conformity with the bill, the separate bill that we have filed.
Okay, all right. Now, those amendments will require a second on your part.
Seconded by legislature.
Okay, any other comments from the legislators? discussion or debate regarding these amendments?
But we can break out any of them if there's any willingness to do any of them.
No, I
No,
don't
there
think
isn't.
so.
All right.
No, I don't think so. I will then ask that we take a vote. All those in favor of the amendments offered by the minority signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Okay, those amendments fail. Okay. However, I'm going to say this, minority leader, that does not mean that we cannot sit and discuss these items individually. And I think I mentioned that to you earlier today. We have the need to continue the dialogue that we did have during the 10th legislative session, and I'm certainly going to be willing to sit down and talk about these items, because they may be doable without me. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right? Absolutely. We're going to start the new year off on the right foot. Okay, so all the resolutions or the amendments that were just proposed received a vote of 4 against and 6 for. Okay, now, we now move on to procedural resolution. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. At this point, the resolution of 4/2016, which was to establish and adopt the rules of the procedure for the 11th Nassau County Legislature, now a vote to adopt those rules of procedure. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so we have nay. We have, okay, I would like to know who's nay. Based on the rules of procedure, Judy. I said all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Nay. Okay, so we have 12 ayes and 6 nays. Okay, we move on to the next item before us, which is procedural resolution 5/2016, a resolution as to procedure to establish a calendar for meetings of the legislature of the county of Nassau for the calendar year 2016, pursuant to the county government law of Nassau County. Motion, please. Moved by legislator Capel, second by legislator Nicolau. Okay, any debate or discussion regarding the calendar for 2016? Okay.
If I may, Madam.
Yes, you can wait, minority.
Thank you. I mean, now that we're getting ready to consider the legislative calendar, one of the points that I did bring up, which we've discussed with our council, is the need to have the meetings on Tuesdays, and I don't know if that works for everybody's personal calendars and work calendars, but that would give us one full business day. I mean, we know there's a lot of stuff that comes down from the administration on Monday at the last minute, and if we had one business day rather than going up against Sunday, the administration would have the ability to do something on a business day, which would give us more opportunity to review it. I mean, granted, the administration could very easily start sending things on Tuesday, but at least they wouldn't have the excuse of the weekend before. And we think if it could work with everybody's, I know it's busy with everybody's working schedules, but if it could work with everybody's working schedule, it does make some sense to be able to try to do that. So before we actually adopt the calendar for the year, I do want to recommend that one at least again.
I will say to you, a minority leader, that Tuesday, the towns meet on Tuesday. And that's one of the reasons why Monday has always been the day for the board of supervisors as well as the legislature. And so we would be in conflict with the towns who meet on Tuesday. And many people who come to the legislature meeting on Monday show up at the town meetings on Tuesday. So that's partially the reason why we are looking to keep the meetings to a Monday. Okay? Any other comment?
Well, I mean, if we should just be open to the idea. I mean, obviously, we're not locked into any particular day of the week. We're just trying to give us some separation.
And I'm going to bring up something else, minority leader. The time, as you know, notice is not stipulated on the calendar. The times of the meetings are not on that calendar that we're voting on today.
I see.
Which leaves, this is what I wanted to say to you before, the door open to having legislative meetings at night. So it's not a closed issue, okay? Okay. All right. Any other comments? No other comments? All those in favor of the calendar for 2016, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Okay. The calendar passes unanimously. Okay. The next item is Resolution 6, 2016, a resolution as to procedure to establish a committee on economic and community development and labor. Is there a motion? Moved by legislator Dunn, second by legislator Walker. Okay. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any public comment? There being none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The procedural resolution 6, 2016 passes by a vote of 18 to 0. Resolution 7, 2016, as to procedure as to establish a committee on towns, villages, and cities. Is there a motion, please? A motion, please? Moved by legislator McKenzie, seconded by legislator Schaefer. Okay, any debate or discussion on this item? There being none, any public comment? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the committee on towns, villages, and cities is established to a vote of 18 to 0. Okay, Resolution 8, 2016, as to procedure in a resolution to establish the Committee on Veterans and Senior Affairs. Is there a motion? Moved by legislator Dunn, seconded by legislator Bailey. Okay, any debate or discussion on this committee? Any public comment? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The item passes unanimously. And pursuant to section 2211 of the Nassau County Charter, the members of the Nassau County Legislature, representing two political parties as candidates who receive the highest and next highest number of votes in the county at the general election in which the governor was chosen, shall designate in writing an official newspaper and file this designation with the office of the clerk of the legislature. Both designations have been submitted. The Republican delegation has selected Newsday as the official newspaper, and the minority has designated, has selected, okay, has selected, okay, selected Newsday, okay? Okay, any questions or comments regarding that item? There being none, all those in favor of selecting Newsday as the official newspaper of the Nassau County? No vote, sorry. Okay. No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Okay, at this time, the floor is open for the purpose of announcing committee assignments and the appointments of the chair and vice chair of all committees. Pursuant to section 111 of the Nassau County Charter, the Nassau County Legislature shall have the following committees: Rules, Finance, Public Works, whose jurisdiction will also include matters involving Nassau County Parks, Public Safety, Health and Social Services, Government Services and Operations, Planning, Development and the Environment, Minority Affairs, Towns, Villages and Cities, Economic and Community Development and Labor, Veterans and Senior Affairs. Additionally, section 182 of the charter requires that the county legislature shall create a budget review committee for the purpose of maintaining general supervision of and liaison with the office of legislative budget review. The members of this committee shall also be designated. Minority Leader Abrahams, I would like to begin with with my designations, and then I ask that you make yours as the committee support. On Rules Committee, Norma Gonzalez is chair, Rich Nicolello is vice chair, Howard Capel, and Dennis Dunn.
On Rules Committee, myself as ranking, Legislator Jacobs and Legislator Salacious.
For the Finance Committee, Richard Nicololo is chair, Vincent Muscarella is vice chair, Donald McKenzie, and Rose Walker.
On finance, ranking, Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten, Legislator Laura Curran, and Legislator Sheila Bynum.
Okay?
I'm sorry, did I distinguish Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten's ranking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, for Public Works and Parks Committee, Vincent Muscarella is chair, Steve Rhodes is vice chair, William Gaylor, and Donald McKenzie.
I'm sorry, which?
We're on Public Works.
Public Work, we're jumping out of order here.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
All right, okay.
First is killing me. All right, we're on public, I know, man. You're forcing me to pay attention.
That's good,
I'm sorry, so we're doing Public Works?
Yes.
I apologize. Legislator Ellen Birnbaum is ranking, Legislator Jacobs, and Legislator Laura Curran.
For the Public Safety Committee, Dennis Dunn is chair, Donald McKenzie is vice chair, Vincent Muscarella, and Denise Ford.
On Public Safety, Legislator Laura Curran is ranking, Legislator Sheila Bynum, and myself, Legislator Giovanni Grams.
We're doing health next. All right, for the Health and Social Services Committee, Rose Walker is chair, William Gaylor is vice chair, Laura Schaefer, and James Kennedy.
Okay, as Health and Social Services, Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten is ranking, Legislator Judy Jacobs, and Legislator Sheila Bynum.
For the Government Services and Operations Committee, James Kennedy is chair, Denise Ford is vice chair, Richard Nicolao, and Laura Schaefer.
On the Government and Service and Operations Committee, Legislator Sheila Bynum is ranking, Legislator Carrie Salages, and Legislator Ellen Birnbaum.
For the Planning, Development, and the Environment Committee, Laura Schaefer as chair, Dennis Dunn as vice chair, Steve Rhodes, and Denise Ford.
On the Planning, Development, and Environment Committee, Legislator Judy Jacobs is ranking, Legislator Laura Curran, and Legislator Carrie Salages.
For the Minority Affairs Committee, Steve Rhodes is chair, James Kennedy is vice chair, Dennis Dunn, and Rose Walker.
On the Minority Affairs Committee, Legislator Sheila Bynum is ranking, Legislator Carrie Salages, and Legislator Laura Curran.
For the Economic and Community Development and Labor Committee, Denise Ford as chair, Howard Capel as vice chair, James Kennedy, and Steve Rhodes.
On the Economic and Community Development Committee, Legislator Carrie Salages ranking, Legislator Ellen Birnbaum, and Legislator Sheila Bynum.
For the Towns, Villages, and Cities Committee, Donald McKenzie as chair, Laura Schaefer as vice chair, William Gaylor, and Howard Capel.
On the Towns, Villages, and Cities Committee, Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten ranking, Legislator Laura Curran, Legislator Ellen Birnbaum.
For the Veterans and Senior Affairs Committee, William Gaylor as chair, Rose Walker as vice chair, Dennis Dunn, and Vincent Muscarella.
On the Veterans and Senior Affairs Committee, Legislator Carrie Salages ranking, Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten, and Legislator Ellen Birnbaum.
Okay, and finally, for the Budget Review Committee, Howard Capel is chair, Norma Gonzalez is vice chair, and Richard Nicolao.
On the Budget Review Committee, myself, Legislator Abrahams, and Legislator Delia DeRigi Whitten.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to put the full legislature in recess, and each committee will be called to order by the chair from their assigned seat. Every committee will vote on their statement of purpose and their rules. Okay, and I'm going to begin. And I will tell you the Budget Review Committee will not convene. Committees will convene in the following order. Veterans and Senior Affairs, Chairman William Gaylor. Towns, Villages, and Cities, Economic and Community Development and Labor. Chair is Denise Ford, by the way, Towns, Villages, and Cities. Chair is John McKenzie. Minority Affairs, Steve Rose is chair. Planning, Development, and Environment Chair, Laura Schaefer. Government Services and Operation. I hope you're listening, because this is the order in which you're going to present your rules of procedure. I'm not going to repeat them. Government Services and Operations Chair, James Kennedy. Health and Social Services Chair, Rose Walker. Public Safety Chair, Dennis Dunn. Public Works Chair, Vincent Muscarella. Finance Chair, Richard Nicolao. And Rules Chair. There's a public comment. If there is public comment, and I know there is, we will listen to those who wish to speak after the first meeting of the Nassau County Legislature is adjourned. I am not ignoring you, I know you're there. So at this point, the committees need to vote on their rules of procedure. And so beginning with the first committee, I'm going to tell you who it is, Veterans and Senior Affairs. You're ready? I said, I'll tell you.
I'm ready, thank you. At this time, I will call the Veterans and Senior Affairs Committee to order. I will act as clerk and call the roll. William Gaylor is chair, here. Rose Walker.
Here.
Dennis Dunn.
Here.
Vincent Muscarella.
Here.
Legislator Carrie Salajas. Here. Legislator Delia DeRigi Witten.
Here.
And Legislator Ellen Birnbaum.
Here.
We have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Veterans and Senior Affairs Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Veterans and Senior Affairs Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion?
Second.
Okay.
That was moved by Walker, second by...
Thank you. Moved by Legislator Walker, seconded by Legislator Dunn. These two items are before us. Is there any debate or discussion?
Just a comment,
Go ahead.
that as a proud member of this committee, I would love to see some meetings of the committee, because I think there are some crucial issues we can discuss about veterans and senior affairs that come before the legislature in full legislative meetings, and I'd like to see some that appear before committee and have some input from the public.
Anyone else? And I agree with you.
Thank you.
Any public comment? All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is passed unanimously. There is no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Walker. All those in favor? Aye. The committee is now adjourned.
At this time, I call the Town, Village, and Cities Committee to order. Also act as clerk and call roll. Don McKenzie, President. Vice Chair, Laura Schaefer. William Gaylor. Howard Copel. Delia DeRigi Witten.
Here.
Laura Curran.
Here.
Ellen Birnbaum.
Here.
We have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions numbers 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Towns, Villages, and Cities Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Towns, Villages, and Cities Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion? Moved by Legislator Gaylor, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. These two items are before us. Any debate or discussion?
Yes.
Legislator Birnbaum.
Okay, as a proud member of this committee, in which I've sat on for the past 2 years, I'd like to see a meeting of this committee. As a former director of intermunicipal coordination for the town of North Hempstead, I think there are many ways we could work together with our towns, villages, and cities and other special districts to economize and have better government. And I'd really like to see some meetings called.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any public comment? Okay, all those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The item is passed unanimously. There being no other business in front of this committee, I have a motion to adjourn. Adjourned by Schaefer, the second by Gaylor. The committee is now adjourned. Thank you.
At this time, I will call the Economic Development and Labor Committee to order. I will act as clerk and call the roll. I am here, Vice Chair Howard Capel, Legislator James Kennedy, Legislator Steve Rhodes, Ranking Member Legislator Salaj, Legislator Birnbaum,
Here.
and Legislator Bino. All right, we have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Economic Development and Labor Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedure Resolution 2-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Economic Development and Labor Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Kennedy, seconded by Solage, Legislator Solage. These two items are before us. Any debate or discussion? Okay.
Okay, as a proud member of this committee, I too would like to see some meetings of the committee, because I read over the rules of the committee, and we're supposed to be discussing policies, employee relations, collective bargaining process, and I know there's ways we could improve the government of the county, and I think perhaps some input from the public and some hearings might be necessary.
Very well spoken, and I agree with you, but as you know, in the past, we did have two key hearings on economic development. Legislator Solage was very instrumental in helping to conduct those hearings. And the first one was when we decided to look at the Nassau Veterans Coliseum, because everything seemed to have stalled. And after that hearing, it generated a lot of interest, and here we are. We broke ground on that, and I think that was a very significant movement. And as a result of having that hearing, and then we had, just this past year, we had the hearing on the recommendation on bringing medical research and technology, those type of jobs and those type of businesses into the county. And right after that, believe it or not, Memorial Sloan Kettering decided to open up a facility over at the site of the Coliseum. So you're absolutely right that I think that these hearings are very instrumental in helping to move the county forward. And I look forward to having additional hearings as well. So I thank you very much. Okay. Any public comment? Okay. All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? These items pass unanimously. There's no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Kennedy, seconded by Legislator Solage. All those in favor? Aye. The committee is now adjourned. Thank you.
At this time, I will call the Planning, Development, and Environment Committee to order. I will act as clerk and call the roll. Vice Chair Dunn.
Here.
Legislator Rhodes.
Here.
Legislator Ford.
Here.
Legislator Jacobs.
Here.
Legislator Curran.
Here.
Legislator Salages.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Okay, we have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2. We'll talk all together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Planning, Development, and the Environment Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of the procedure for the Planning, Development, and Environment Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Legislator Ford, seconded by Legislator Dunn. The two items before us, are there any debate or discussion by the board? Any comments from the legislators? Legislators? Any public comment? Okay. All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? These items pass unanimously. There's no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Ford. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The items pass unanimously. The committee is now adjourned.
At this time, I'll call the Minority Affairs Committee to order, and I'll act as clerk and call the roll. Legislator Curran?
Here.
Legislator Solage? Here. Legislator Bino, unfortunately, cannot be with us. Legislator McKenzie? Here. Sorry, never mind. Good that you're here. Legislator Walker?
Here.
I was just checking. See if you're paying attention. Legislator Dunn?
Here.
Vice Chairman Kennedy? Here. And I am here as chair. We have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Minority Affairs Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Minority Affairs Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion? Okay, moved by Legislator Walker, seconded by Legislator Curran. Is there any debate or discussion? Any public comment? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, items passed unanimously, 7-0. There is no other business in front of this committee. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Walker. All those in favor, please signify so by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. 6-0, thank you. Committee is now adjourned.
At this time, I'll call the Government Services and Operations Committee to order. I will act as clerk and call the roll. Legislator Bino is not here. Legislator Salage? Here. Legislator Birnbaum?
Here.
Legislator Schaefer?
Here.
Legislator Nicolella?
Here.
Legislator Ford is vice chair?
Here.
And Legislator Kennedy is chair. I'm here. We have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1, 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Government Services and Operations Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2, 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Government Services and Operations Committee pursuant to the rules of the procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion? Moved by Legislator Ford, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. Thank you. These two items are before us. Any debate or discussion? Yes, Legislator Birnbaum?
I also sit on this committee, and I'd like to see the committee meet, and I think this committee would be a great place to discuss some of the proposals we've all had for making this governmental system much more transparent to the public.
Okay, thank you.
I want to help.
All right.
I'm here to serve.
All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, the item's passed unanimously. There is no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Legislator Schaefer, seconded by Legislator Ford. All right, all those in favor? The committee is now adjourned.
This time I will call the Health and Social Service Committee to order. I will act as clerk and call the roll. Celia Bino, who is not here today. Legislator Judy Jacobs.
Here, I'm sorry.
Legislator Gili DeRiggi Whitten, who is ranking member. James Kennedy. Laura Schaefer. Vice Chair William Gaylor. And myself, who is chair. We have a quorum. We have two items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Health and Social Services Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedure Resolution 2-216 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Health and Social Services Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion? Moved by Legislator Schaefer, seconded by Legislator Gaylor. These two items are before us. Is there any debate or discussion? Any public comment? All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? The item is passed unanimously. There is no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Legislator Kennedy, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. All those in favor? The committee is now adjourned.
I now call, at this time, I will call the Public Safety Committee to order, and I will act as the clerk and call the roll. Legislator Ford.
Here.
Legislator Vincent Muscarella. Vice Chairman Donald McKenzie.
Here.
And the chair myself, I'm here. Legislator Devon Abraham.
Here.
Legislator Celia Bino is not with us. And Ranking Member Laura Curran.
Here.
we have a quorum. We have 2 items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, which I will call together. Procedural Resolution 1-2016 is a resolution to adopt the purpose statement of the purpose of the Public Safety Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution 2-2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Public Safety Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion? Legislator Mackenzie? Can't hear your hand.
Yeah.
Talk out loud, yeah.
I'm second.
And second by Legislator Ford. These 2 items are before us. Is there any debate or discussion? Is there any public comment? There being none, all in favor of adopting these resolutions, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None opposed, all right, it's passed unanimously. There is no other business in front of this committee. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Legislator Ford, second by Legislator McKenzie. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. This committee is now adjourned.
So moved.
Again? It's done.
It's done.
Public Works and Parks is hereby called to order. Laura Curran.
Here.
Judy Jacobs.
Here.
Ranking Member Ellen Birnbaum.
Here.
Donald McKenzie.
Here.
William Gaylor.
Here.
Vice Chair Rhodes.
Here.
And I am here. We have a quorum. We have 2 items. They are procedural resolutions number 1 and 2, and I will call them together. Procedural Resolution 1 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt a proposed statement of purpose for the Public Works and Parks Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural Resolution number 2 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Public Works and Parks Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. May I have a motion, please, from Mr. McKenzie, seconded by Mr. Gaylor. Those 2 items are before us. Ms. Birnbaum, you're on this committee. I'm sure you have a statement.
Thank you for reading my mind. As a committee that really deals with contracts, hundreds of millions of dollars that this county spends, I would like to see more hearings on our sewers, our plants. I think there's a lot to be discussed, and I think many people in the public would be happy to attend them and speak, and it's going to be a learning experience for me, and I hope to see many hearings this year.
Thank you. Any other debate or discussion? Any public comment? All those in favor of adopting these rules, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The items pass unanimously. There's no other business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Rhodes, seconded by Mr. Gaylor. All those in favor of adjourning? All those opposed? We are adjourned.
Calling the Finance Committee to order. I'll act as clerk and call the roll. Legislator Bionel could not be with us today. Legislator Curran.
Here.
Ranking Member Delia DeRizzi-Witten.
Here.
Legislator Rose Walker.
Here.
Legislator McKenzie. Legislator Muscarella. And I'm here. We have a quorum. We have 2 items on the agenda, and they are procedural resolutions numbers 1 and 2. Procedural resolution number 1 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed statement of purpose for the Finance Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Procedural resolution number 2 of 2016 is a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of procedure for the Finance Committee pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Moved by Legislator Muscarella, seconded by Legislator Walker. These 2 items are before us. Any debate or discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the items carry unanimously. May I have a motion to adjourn the committee? Moved by Legislator McKenzie, seconded by Legislator Walker. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the committee is adjourned.
Okay, and the last committee is the Rules Committee. I will call the roll, and acting I should say, Ranking Member Ron Abrahams, Judy Jacob, Harriet Salages, Richard Nicolello,
Here.
Dennis Dunn,
Here.
Howard Capel, Norma Gonsalves, okay. Again, we have two procedural resolutions. Right now, we have two that are called together. The first two items, which are procedural resolutions number 1, 2016, a resolution to adopt a proposed statement of purpose for the Rules Committee pursuant to the Rules of Procedure of the Nassau County Legislature, and procedural resolution number 2, 2016, a resolution to adopt the proposed rules of the procedure of the Rules Committee pursuant to the Rules of Procedure for the Nassau County Legislature. Motion, please. Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Minority Leader Kevon Abraham. Okay. Okay. These two items are before us. Is there any debate or discussion on these two items? Any public comments? There being none, all those in favor of these two items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the items pass unanimously. And the next item is procedural resolution number 3, 2016. It is a resolution to adopt the rules of procedure and statements of purpose of all standing committees of the Nassau County Legislature pursuant to the rules of procedure of the Nassau County Legislature. Motion, please. Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Nicolello. All right, this item is before us, and a discussion or debate regarding this item. Any public comment? There being none, all those in favor of adopting this rules, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the item passes unanimously. There is no other business in front of this committee. We have a motion to adjourn. Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Capel. All those in favor of adjourning the Rules Committee signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The committee is now adjourned. All right, and that went quickly, and I really thank the 4 individuals who have been here for a while, but we'll be getting to you in a moment. At this point, it's in order for me to reconvene the first meeting of the 11th Nassau County Legislature. And there being no other business, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Walker. All right, all those in favor of adjourning the first meeting of the 11th Nassau County Legislature, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the meeting is now adjourned. And I really and truly say thank you to the 4 ladies who are sitting here very patiently, but this was truly an organizational meeting, as you can see, and it sets the stage for the rest of the year. So I have 4 slips here. I have Kristen Flood, and I asked my legislators, please sit here, since they sat here very patiently, to listen to their concerns. And Christine Flood.
Hi. I got a babysitter.
Put the mic on, Christine.
I got a babysitter today.
Okay, good.
I'm just here today because I witnessed an exchange between our mayor and the 2 legislators that support our community, Richard Nicolello and Vincent Mascarella. In that exchange, there was a lot of talk about impact studies and numbers and having facts straight. And I encourage, again, the Village of Floral Park and all of our representatives to vet those numbers with you. After leaving last month's meeting, I decided to do a little fact checking of my own with relating not to traffic, because that's not my primary concern. Crime and the change to my community is my primary concern. And I came here today to introduce a report that was compiled by our police commissioner that had a lot of interesting facts. Facts compiled in partnership with 106 precincts, and facts that go back a few decades and span multiple states and locales where casinos have been introduced to the community. And I want to share with you just my most impactful take on this. Not that, again, crime at the 106 precinct, and as reported at Aqueduct Racetrack in the year 2014 compared to 2015, and the types of crimes that have increased significantly. 62% increase in grand larceny. It's a great number, on paper. My takeaway from reading this report was not just those crime statistics, but was the negotiations that take place between legislators, between government agencies, and these companies that bring casinos, or in this instance, it will be Nassau County OTB. The negotiations that take place to slip these establishments into local communities far outweigh the host communities are impacted more significantly than any negotiation could support. In certain towns in Pennsylvania, they were given whole schools. A whole entire school was built, at the negative impact of the community once this casino establishment opened. It was very, interesting to me, and the results are unanimous. The cost to these host communities far surpass any benefits that could be negotiated. So I'm very interested to see what kind of impact studies are on the docket from the county. What are you looking at? What is going to be the impact to my local community? I'm very interested, Legislator Muscarella and Nicolau, what studies are in place, when they'll be published. I did hear, again, through some media, that OTB was putting together a survey themselves, a study themselves on the impacts of such casino. I want to know when it's going to be available and how you both will be supporting such negative impacts.
And the OTB is actually the entity that makes the decision where to place the video slot machines. And they would be the ones that would prepare any sort of impact study or any of the other studies that would be related to the placement at Belmont, or any other location for that matter. I mean, we'd be interested in seeing what Commissioner McAllister has come up with. So if you have something from him, we'd be happy to look at it. The other thing I would mention is that some of the other places where the casinos were placed, they were actual full-blown casinos. So, I mean, it's kind of apples and oranges. You're going to compare something that's like a Taj Mahal that was placed in Atlantic City, which is already an urban environment, as opposed to 1,000 slot machines. So again, we'd be happy, speaking of myself, I guess, Legislator Muscarella, we both would be happy to look at whatever information is out there.
And we'd be happy to turn over any information that we have with respect to studies from OTB, but again, we don't make that decision. OTB proposes a site and is able to put the site where they decide it best goes, so.
So what I learned from the last meeting is you do have the opportunity to overthrow the OTB board if...
We do not.
Okay. You can vote them down.
Again, and I will state this again. There are those who believe that we can call in the members of OTB and tell them under threat of their jobs that they will not vote for this site or else.
Okay.
I do not believe that that's a valid course for us to be taking.
Okay, are you able to ask OTB for their study?
Yes, and we will turn it over to you. And we would ask that if the Commissioner has a study, you have a study, we'd be happy to look at that also.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely ask the Village of Floral Park to do so. And again, I'm under the assumption of what was discussed at last month's meeting. I'm very optimistic that there will be partnership between our local community and you as our legislators as this moves forward. This is not something that the community of Floral Park, though, and the individuals that I'm here with today are willing to negotiate. There's no negotiation. So we're here to fight that. We're here to spread the awareness, spread the word. And I mean, I had a personal phone call on my cell phone from somebody from the OT who works for the OTB after I registered my opposition with the OTB. My cell phone rang, and it was somebody who works for the OTB had an intern call me to kind of harass me. So I don't know what I'm up against here. All I know is you were so kind to let us speak last month. We're here again. You represent our districts. We're going to be pursuing our senators as well. But where it relates to your authority with the Nassau County OTB, information sharing, anything that you can do to help support the proper due diligence behind this, now that their announcement has been made, would be appreciated.
Your 3 minutes have expired.
Presiding officer.
So that's all right, we're going to let them speak.
Presiding officer, I have a comment.
Yes, Legislator Salash.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you, Ms. Flood, for being here today. I guess I want to clarify something that was stated before as to the OTB board. They serve at the pleasure of this legislature. We can, discontinue their service without any reason being stated. And if the reason is a reason that should draw concern for your entire community in terms of your public safety, then this body can remove the OTP board. This body has the legal authority and the power to do so, yet they are choosing not to do so, and they're choosing to look the other way. That is unacceptable when clearly your community has spoken very strongly through the print media, through the internet, through organizing, through petitions. I commend you for doing so. But again, this body has the power to remove the board. And I encourage you to please continue writing to this body to ask them to do so. Thank you.
If I might, we may have the power to remove them, but the exercising of that power doesn't make it right, nor does it make it necessarily legal.
Okay, Chris,
Well, yeah.
I would like to call up Deirdre. Thank you, Chris. Deirdre, for the record, state your full name.
My name is Dr. Deirdre O'Leary Cunningham. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. On December 21st, Mayor Tweedy and Floral Park residents spoke about our opposition to a VLT casino at Belmont. They spoke of the negative effects a casino would bring to our communities, and they made the point that we don't want a casino anywhere in Nassau. This casino plan is not about revitalizing Elmont. In the words of Dan Keating, project manager for Wynn Casino Philadelphia, quote, "No one should plan on a casino to bring about urban renewal because that's not what casinos do. This plan is solely about money. OTB claims VLTs at Belmont will generate $150 million and give Nassau $20 million. OTB also claims that attendance will be approximately 5,000 persons a day with slightly more on weekends. OTB is lying. In order for a casino at Belmont to generate $150 million net, each VLT machine must generate an average of $415 a day, 365 days a year. I imagine OTB looked to Aqueduct for those numbers. Aqueduct has 5,000 VLTs and each one averages $447 a day. But this number is far above average. The remaining 9 casinos combined in New York average $290 per machine per day. Why does Aqueduct do better? Because Aqueduct gets 1 million visitors a month. It's completely unrealistic to think Belmont will generate those numbers with 5,000 people coming a day. It's more likely that Belmont will possibly generate something closer to Yonkers, which is $280 per machine. That would leave us $50 million below the optimistic target. And after 45% to state, 10% to state gaming, 5% to NYRA, 10% to marketing, and the remaining percent to Nassau OTB, what is left for us? OTB uses the money to cover operating costs, then the county gets money if there's money left. But with OTB's $16 million debt and $45 million in unfunded retiree health benefit costs, I'm not holding my breath. But OTB knows this. They know they'll need over 25,000 people per day coming to their casino to make their goal. As legislator Nicolella pointed out, most of those people will travel in coaches and buses, which are not allowed on the Cross Island. They will be driving through our communities and Elmont and New Hyde Park and Garden City. They know this. They know this casino will bring crime, lower property values, and strain the resources of our police and emergency responders. But they stress it will bring jobs, yes, 200 jobs paying approximately $12 an hour, which is far fewer than the number of people currently employed at Westbury's Costco. OTB seeks to cannibalize county revenue by capturing monies that otherwise might go to more productive investments and activities. I'm shocked that a good number of you support this plan, which is nothing more than a bailout for an organization that hasn't turned a profit since 2008.
Your 3 minutes have expired, ma'am.
One more sentence, thank you. This is called planning a hurricane because it would be good for a roofing business. Thank you.
Presiding officer. Presiding officer. Ms. Cunningham, if I may, thank you. If we may please have a copy of some of the information that you have, I would truly appreciate that. I thank you very much for clearly combining many facts throughout the past several months in several different hearings. I've tried to extract some of that information from the administration, and so I appreciate you sharing that with us. Economically, it's not possible. The benefit would not be there. There is no reason for us to bear a cost like that. And so again, I thank you very much for being here today, and I encourage you to continue advocating against this casino. Thank you.
Terry? Ms. Terry? Paterno?
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you for letting us speak today. My name is Terry Binkley-Paterno, and I'm the current president of the Wednesday Mothers Club. Now, the Wednesday Mothers Club has been in existence for 67 years in the town of Floral Park, which means that we currently have members in our club whose mothers and grandmothers were members, and they're all very connected alumni. We speak to them quite frequently. We're standing firmly with Mayor Tweedy and the rest of the village to say that we do not want gambling casinos in our neighborhood. Basically, my backyard is what you're suggesting. Over the years, WMC's relationship with Belmont has been one of inclusion and friendship. We've embraced all Belmont has to offer. We take our children to breakfast at Belmont. We take our kids to Twilight Racing, where we put blankets down and we play at the playground in Belmont Park. We walk to and through Belmont and patronize the open-air farmers market set up at Gate 6, teaching our kids where their food comes from. And the horses, you can't put a price on a child when they look at a thoroughbred horse. We've taught our kids to be kind and generous by working with Anna House, a school that's located on property at Belmont. You're suggesting casinos are a natural fit for that area. I mean, our children are in Floral Park, Belrose. We border that park. We border the racetrack, and we've lived very happily with them. Well, gambling is at the races, and I see that we gamble at the races. I find it unbelievable that you can make a comparison between casino gambling on slot machines and the kind of clientele that brings to horse racing. While you're projecting $20 million again in revenue, and Deirdre spoke more eloquently than I could, but I'll tell you, I don't know how you could get to $20 million without really doing some serious business at Belmont. And basically, I don't want Atlantic City in my backyard. My son lives 3 blocks away. We just built a house there. It's very upsetting to have this committee look the other way. How are you not taking care of us? I am the president of the Mothers Club, and you might think that that's okay, a bunch of moms, 67 years of moms. That means we are a big voting bloc. We are watching you. We are looking to you, Mr. Nicolello. We are looking to you to help us save our neighborhood. Would any of you like to have this casino in your backyard, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks away, around the corner from where you live? Well, I have to say, we don't want it either. And I appreciate you listening to us and taking the time, and I hope that you see the voting bloc that we are, because we're going to remember in November. There's no way we're not going to remember in November. We invest in our community, we invest in our children, and we certainly have invested in you. And I look for you to invest back in us, please. I'm asking you. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And Patricia?
Hello, Happy New Year. I'm a little emotional based on that as well. My name is Patricia Mangan, and I have been a resident of Floral Park for 40 years. I've also been an advocate for children for 40 years. I'm an educator. And I just recently retired after teaching for 25 years at Floral Park Memorial High School, which is directly across the street from Belmont Racetrack. From every classroom in that school, you can see Belmont Racetrack. I also taught for several years at Belmont Memorial High School, a wonderful high school in the Sewanaka Central High School District. And I do not want to see our young people subjected to VLTs or Racino or anything else on the Belmont Racetrack property. We have coexisted for all of these years with Belmont Racetrack in a positive way. And I believe in the communities of Elmont and Floral Park and do not want to see our communities destroyed by this plan. And they will be. I'm also in a unique position because in addition to being an educator, which I hold near and dear to my heart, I am also a licensed New York State real estate salesperson with the Donnelly Group in Garden City and Floral Park. And I've worked in real estate for 8 years now. And I know what it's going to do to property values in our communities. It's going to hurt us terribly. And it's not about the money. It's about changes that we will see come to our community as a result of decreased property values, decreased revenue for our county as well as our town, and just decreased everything in the village of Floral Park. I have been a lifelong Republican, and I voted for several of you up there, and I know people on the board, and I need to turn your minds around. I know some people think their hands are tied, but they're never tied. And I have to do my best to reach out, to influence you, to change your minds. I'm a member of the Citizens Party of Floral Park, a staunch Republican, and 1 out of every 4 residents of the village of Floral Park right now are children. So I'm here to talk for those 25% of those individuals who are under the age of 21 and ask you to please, please reach into your hearts and realize that this is not a good fit for the village of Floral Park. This is not a good fit for the community of Elmont. We oppose this vehemently, and we will do whatever within our power to make sure that VLTs and OTB do not come to Belmont Racetrack. I really do thank you for your service and for all that you have done for our county. But I appeal to you, please help us in this endeavor to stop this from happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Megan. And that's the end of public comment. That's the only slips I have. So again, I thank you for being so patient and waiting for us to go through this organizational meeting. And wish you the best in your endeavors for the new year. I already adjourned the meeting, so let's go. We can vote.
Thank you.